Yo, it's your favorite flop YouTuber that's totally been posting, and the second my 2-week break ends, I start making a video. Very responsible. You may notice I look semi-decent because I actually tried because I was bored. And also, that's my highlight. My face is not as greasy as my hair. And you also know that I keep averting my eye contact because I'm looking at notes I wrote down on my phone because I am a 10 out of 10 YouTuber. Kidding. Okay, anyways, I'm really sorry. So I looked at my old videos, like I watched through them, and I was watching them and I was thinking, why are they so bad? They're just so terrible. It's kind of like you have an idea, right? And you put it out there into fruition, and then once it's there, you're kind of like, I regret this. But you can't take it back because too many people have already seen it, and it's just such a mistake. Kind of like when my mom gave birth to me. So over the break, I've kind of just been inhaling and absorbing movies and musicals and YouTube content. And including YouTube content, I was like, oh yeah, I make videos. And so I'm back. Probably not gonna upload a video like till a month after this. Who knows? Depends how I feel. And yeah, so I'm going back to school tomorrow. Or whenever I actually end up editing this. But I was thinking about how in the past, I've actually gotten in some, trouble because I'm such a bad girl, bad grill representing. But yeah, I thought I would tell some stories about all the dumb times I got in trouble in my school life. So this first story is slightly embarrassing, but like I have any dignity in the first place. So when I was in elementary school, I would hang out with this group of guys and we would LARP. Edgy. And LARPing, for your information, is live action roleplay. And we would run around the playground and snicker snack with snorts. Can I mention that I strongly dislike the monologue Jabberwocky? Not the Jabberwockies, not like the but it's this monologue and it's just so But yeah, in elementary school I did LARPing, and then on the playground, since it was a group of guys and there was me and another girl on this specific day, we would kind of get violent sometimes, and I think we were playing I don't know, let's just say Power Rangers for reference. We were pretending to be Power Rangers. And then there was this girl, her name, we'll call her Franny. And then she fell to the floor like she died. And then everybody jumped on top of her. And then there was this teacher, Miss Barbara. My brother was friends with her daughter. That's completely random, but there's this teacher, Miss Barbara, and she was like, you can't do that. All you guys, go stand on the wall. Because there was the playground here, and then the wall here, and then she was like, you guys can't play for the rest of recess. Get roasted. I'm kidding, I'm not that cringy, and neither was she. But she was it'll leave. And she kind of looked like a stereotypical old librarian, oddly enough. And my librarian in elementary school was called Miss Carrot. Yum. Here's a second elementary school recess story. And speaking of carrots, there was also this girl in my third day class named, we'll call her Becky, that smelled like corn. When you don't take a shower in a long time and then you start smelling really oh, yeah, that's what she smelled like all the time. So, there's 4 pillars, and then from recess you go to lunch. So we were waiting outside in front of my class pillar to go in, and then they let one class in at the time because we're all insane, hyperactive children. And then this girl was in front of me, right? And she was talking to her friend, so she didn't know the line was moving. So I tapped her on the shoulder, maybe hit her a little bit too hard, but it happens. And then I was like, can you go? And then she was probably yeah. And then the next day, I get called up to the office, right? And they're like, excuse me, but we got a report that you punched a girl. And I was like, I do not recall.
Ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And okay, in elementary school, I was the greatest goody two-shoes girly girl. Not much has changed, but the goody two-shoes things was insane. I was such a teacher's pet. It was crazy. So I started bawling my eyes out, even though I did nothing wrong. So I think what happened was that I like tapped this girl on the shoulder, and then so she told her dad that I punched her. And then they told the school, and then I got called up, and they were like, I was in the office, terrified for my life. And the office knows me because, okay, I have allergies, but in reality, I just didn't want to go outside because I'm that spoiled when I was younger. I mean, still. But I didn't want to go outside, so I stayed inside for allergies, and I would sit in the office, and I would just be very polite. And there was this other guy that had to stay in for recess, and he was older, and he was like a bad boy or whatever, and I had a crush on him probably. So they knew me, and they know that I'm a good kid and that I wouldn't punch someone, but this girl reported me as if I freaking pummeled her, like, why? Why did she do that? Next story is also from recess, oddly enough. You know, elementary school recess, you just have all that freedom, or perceived freedom, that you really just go crazy. So this one was in first grade, when I was ultra mega goody two-shoes. So there was this kid, Davion. I've been using fake names, and then now I use his actual name. But I'm not recording this again. So this kid, Davion, just like this regular bad kid that was annoying, and I think that he got suspended or like expelled, which is very hard to do considering it's elementary of all things. But yeah, I was hanging out with him for some reason at recess. He's not my type of person, but I was hanging out with him probably because I wanted to be a bad girl or something like that. But I was hanging out with him, and we started having a tickle fight, and I was just like because I'm so ticklish, do not use that against me. And this teacher saw us, and I think that she thought I was like assaulting him or he was assaulting me. So she was like, go to the principal's office. No warning, no, hey guys, stop that. Nothing, just like leave, go to the office. No, nothing at all. This girl was relentless, and she was like one of the special ed teachers, I think, or just like an assistant that helped out everybody around the school. So she had no chill. She was just like, leave. And then I started crying on the spot, but she had no mercy. She was just like, go. And then so I went, and I'm crying my eyes out, and this kid's probably looking at me like, why? Be quiet. So we go, and then we probably explained ourselves, and I was just like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm such an ugly crier. But yeah. So my last elementary school stories these are inside the classroom, kinda. So this first one was that in all of my classes, there was these 3 levels, where there was green, there was yellow, and there was red. And then in first grade specifically, my teacher had little coins, and then at the end of every few months, you could turn in the coins and get little like 99-cent or presents. So I would always be on green, because like I said, teacher's pet, goody two-shoes. And then another thing about me being a goody two-shoes though is I'm very, very talkative. So I think I was talking while she was talking probably about Lord knows whatever first graders talk about in that time. And I got moved down to yellow for the first time. Shook. And also, if you got to red, you would get a citation. And then my second story, which I'm just going to jump into now and come back because I have that small of attention span. I was like in the cafeteria, right? And there's a little hallway, and then you have the cafeteria. So I was walking in that hallway, and I was probably doing something, and then the teacher, right before she came, I stopped, but the other kids were still doing it, so they all get caught, but I was fine. So I was like that close. That close. Back to the other story. Yeah, I think this also happened in kindergarten, which is so much worse, and I freaked out. But in first grade, there was actual money on the line. So I like cried and cried, but this girl was strong. She was not going to give in on me, so she did it. And then I ended up on yellow. End of the freaking world, right? So right now I'm in middle school and I haven't really done anything specifically terrible. Well, I've done a lot of terrible things, but nothing that's been recognized. The only thing I can think of recently is, so at my school, ever since the chick got stabbed, we have to wear these IDs with their faces on them, and I kind of just don't bother wearing it, and I got caught for it a few times. I have it like in my binder, I just don't want to put it on. And my first period teacher, Miss Arnold, she's a interesting woman, but she gets triggered a lot about it. And an occasion in 6th grade, which I'm not proud to say, in musical theater, my 6th grade musical theater class is a whole video on its own, but we were terrible, and they were like, if you talk, you're getting up here and have to write your name down, which they made countless pointless threats over and over again. It's so triggering. I hated it so much. But yeah, they would make all these pointless threats all the time, and then, so apparently I was talking. I was probably asking for like an eraser or something, but I got called up and I started crying because I didn't want to get kicked out of the play. And then my Miss Petrella, the dance teacher at my school, looked at me with such like, can you shut up? You're so annoying. And she like told me like, go to the bathroom, and I didn't want to go to the bathroom because I'm an attention whore. But eventually I did, and that day there was an assembly because my school has these like big pep rallies with like screaming and stuff, and I hate them now. But at the time I was like, loved them. I like, whoa, Nukamori. I don't know. But yeah, so I was crying in the bathroom, and then the assembly started. And then I just didn't go to the assembly, and I just kept crying in the stall out of guilt. And then I kind of got bored, so I came out and I went back to the theater. It's like just the empty theater. And I wrote a note, like a guilty note, like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be talking. And then they came back, and then nothing happened. Like, I didn't even have like a lead role or anything. I was young Nala, which I'm so thankful for that role. Like, I was a 6th grader and I got a role, which is like super lucky. But still, I was acting like it was like, this is my big break and I ruined it. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's probably a lot more, but that's all I'm going to tell. And there's a few stories that I think deserve their own videos of their own. See, like, sometimes I just like to make videos with, like, certain points and not just a whole story time. Ignore the clickbait title, but when I was looking through my old videos, I noticed the only one with a clickbait title was the ones that actually got views, and also the other one with me in a bikini, so that really just shows the state of our world. And lastly, I just want to say with the utmost gratitude and just seriousness, thank you so much for watching this video, because, hey, I have no life, and the fact that you're experiencing that with me, respect. So, yeah, do that whole thing, subscribe to clog up your subscription box, like, even though lying is a sin, and dislike, don't dislike, that's bad, and comment about what you're going to do for this 2018 and any New Year's resolutions, or if you're watching this in like 2083, how's life? I don't know, probably dead. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a fantastic new year and a great day or night. Bye!